I'm back, and today I'm going to be doing kind of like a year in review of like all of the pieces that I made in my art class this year. So it was called Draw and Paint 1 because there is a second class that you can take for it. That's kind of like a continuation of it. However, I will not be having that on my schedule next year because I didn't have room, sadly. But I just thought I wanted to like come on here and share some of my art that I made this year because it's kind of different from what I normally do, because the class is all about like expanding your skills and learning new mediums and like doing different types of drawings. And I think that's something I need to work on, so that class was really good for me. And I'm not like reviewing them in any particular order, I'm kind of just going by medium almost. So yeah, let's get started. So this first piece was actually the most recent piece that we did, and it's supposed to be perspective drawing. So we were actually learning different parts of perspective drawing, so like 1 point and like 2 point. I don't know if that's the right terminology. I was behind and I was working on another project for like most of this, so I didn't really like learn all of the stuff about it, but I tried to do my best on this. So there's kind of like the 1 point, and then I have the houses. I wanted to do something unique, so then I had the road, and it was kind of like off center, the lines, so I was like, I'll just make everything in this thing strange. So then I added the clocks. I don't know why I thought of the clocks, I just did. And you can see it's not done, but like when I was working on, the color was like fading out until it gets to the vanishing point, and I kind of wanted to look almost like ominous and eerie. So that's that drawing, and it was really fun to do because I really like doing perspective because like you can't really go wrong with it. It's kind of just you get the ruler out and you make the lines, and it looks good if you do it right. So you kind of can't really go wrong with it as long as you do the lines right. So that's why I think I enjoyed it so much. So next we're going to look at some paintings. So I have acrylic and watercolor paintings this year, and the one that we're looking at now is a painting of a butterfly. And so the theme for this was kind of like a monochromatic painting, and it's not monochromatic as you can see, but like they are opposing colors. So it's like the purplish blue and like the reddish orange in the background. And so I actually made this for Devin. I'm giving this to him tomorrow. And yeah, so the sketch kind of took me a while, but the painting was really fun. I really do enjoy painting with acrylic paints, and I really enjoyed painting like the purple parts on the butterfly, and that took actually a pretty long time. I'm not really sure why. I think I was too focused on making it look exactly like the reference picture. And then the black part of it, especially like the middle where the body is, I kind of rushed it a little bit, but I think it turned out okay. Like, and if you see me looking over like to the right, this might be the left in the video, I don't know. If you see me looking over, it's because I have the drawings over here so I can kind of look at them and say what thoughts come to mind. And then the last part that I wanted to talk about for this drawing was the background, and originally it had just been like that lightish orange color, but I wanted to add more form and kind of make it less bland because it was looking really flat at the beginning. So then I added kind of just brush strokes of like different like variations of that orange color. Some were darker, some were lighter, and I think it really just made the butterfly stand out a lot more, and it made it look a lot more like appealing to the eye. So that was my butterfly painting. So next are my watercolor paintings, and so there are actually two of these. One is kind of like to practice your skills before you do the real painting. So this one was a kind of like a shape or like a geometric pattern painting. So you pick so many shapes, and then you kind of just get, what's it called, a protractor and a ruler out, and you make the shapes however you want in like an interesting composition. And then after that you move on to each different like texture. So we had like the salt textures, we had wrapping paper, and then we also had plastic wrap. And so basically you paint the colors on however you want to, and then you use each texture, and then some of them are also just plain watercolor as well. But this is really just to experiment how you want to paint for your like good painting, I guess. So this next painting is of a yellow rose, and I actually picked this to do for my grandma Connie because that was her favorite type of flower. And so the theme for this one was any type of flower or like plant in nature, but it had to be like a close-up so you could really get all the interesting little details of it. So for this I did it in each little section because you can tell that there are different you know, petals. There are different like shadows and stuff within the petal, and so I kind of did it piece by piece, and I was really trying to work on the depth and like shading and form for this one. It is a little bit messy, but it's kind of like one of my first times painting like seriously with watercolor, so that's kind of why. But I think this was a really good place to start, and I really think I brought the colors out nicely in them. This one was not always my favorite one to work on in class because I'm like kind of learning the ropes with watercolors or whatever. So now we're on to my chalk pastel drawing, and for this one the theme was a landscape, and it wanted to have multiple like layers. I don't know if that's the right word, but you can see there's like the mountains in the back, and then there's the sunset, and then there's the tree layer, and then there's like land in front of it, and then the water, and then the like little island thing that's in the way front. This one I actually really enjoyed making it, and I think it turned out really nice. This is one of my favorites from this year because of how nice it turned out, I think. And I learned a lot with this one because chalk pastels are kind of difficult to use for the first time, and they all blend so easily, and sometimes that is actually a disadvantage because you can put like one little bit of a color down and then it might be like too blended or it might be too strong. But I think this turned out really nice, and actually my teacher wanted to enter this into like a competition to get onto the pages of a bank calendar. It was a bunch of local artists that can get into this competition. So my teacher entered me, and I actually I was selected to be in this bank calendar for this local bank, so I'm looking forward to that. I believe that's the 2022 calendar for that bank. Overall, I'm really proud of this one, and I really love the colors and just the whole layout of it. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorites from this year. So this next one is kind of like a true monochromatic drawing since it is just in black and white. It's a pencil drawing, and it is of a native dancer. She's very pretty, very beautiful. The clothing is very nice, and that's kind of like why I wanted to draw it, because it's just so beautiful and original, and I really wanted to capture that beauty, you know? And so that's why I chose to draw this. And I think I turned out pretty good. I really like the shading that I did, and I especially like the bottom half of it because I put a lot of time into the bottom half. You'll notice that a lot of these are actually 2 pieces of paper, and now it's just so it's easier to take home this year from being like online and then in person. So my teacher wanted to make it easier for us to take it home, so a lot of these are diptychs. That just means like 2 pieces of paper for one drawing. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This one did take a while, but I think it turned out really nice, and it was definitely a good use of my time. However, one thing that I would improve on for this was the face. I didn't really put that much time and effort into her face. At this point, I didn't really draw too many faces that are more on the realistic side, so I do think I turned out pretty okay for like kind of not having that much experience with it. But yeah, that is one thing that I would change and improve on, and kind of just study the reference picture more so I could make it look more realistic and accurate. But overall, I like this one a lot too. I believe in my local art contest for like all the local schools, I've got like 2nd or 3rd place in this one in the monochromatic drawing section. So yeah, that's just another reason why I'm pretty proud of it. So this is the last piece from this year, and this is definitely my favorite piece of the whole year. It is the stippling piece. So if you don't know what stippling is, it's just making a bunch of little dots. And this one took so long to do, but it was so worth it in the end because I got to draw Drew Phillips, and it looked really nice because I feel like I did really well with the shading and the dots. And so the theme for this one was to draw 3 things that you like, and I believe my 3 selections were music, Drew Phillips, and geckos. I really like this one, and Drew Phillips actually saw it on my Instagram and he liked it, so that was really nice. Yeah, hashtag noticed by Drew Phillips. And I'm really just glad that all my hard work on it paid off because I really love it. So those are all my drawings and all my paintings and all my work from this year. I'm really proud of my works this year, and I think I've grown a lot in my skills, especially with showing depth and like shading and form in my artwork, and I think you can tell that in my own personal artwork as well. I think I'm paying a lot more attention to those little details and kind of just the little parts of the drawing that maybe I didn't before. And I really have to credit that to my art teacher. I want to thank her a lot because she made the class so fun and so enjoyable, and she gave us really good prompts and she helped us out a lot. She really taught us like really good things, and if we ever needed help or to talk to her, she would always let us. And yeah, I think this year in her classroom really kind of helped me grow a lot as an artist and as a person. I learned a lot of good lessons in her class. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even if it is a little bit different from what I normally do. I just wanted to share all this with you guys because I feel like I should credit a lot of my growth this year to my art class. So make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family. I don't really care, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do anything else, that's okay too. But definitely make sure to have a great day, and bye!